The left part of the group, all the A's. You know what they say, if her last name, her first name ends with an sound, she gonna be a handful. Left part of the group, all the A's. Well, I only say that because my wife's name is Jessica. And to keep her from being a handful, I call her Jess. I don't make the rules. I live by them. Random question for you guys. If I created a WhatsApp group, would you use it?
Oh,
What was that, Charles?
Yes.
Yes.
Charles, I think Charles said no.
yes. No, I said yes.
Charles said no.
Dan,
It's like, no, F you, Dan. I don't like you. I don't listen to you. Don't talk to me ever again.
I have a huge confession.
What's your confession?
I totally intended on doing that CMA that you challenged me to do, and then I totally didn't do it.
Well, dang. Well, dang.
I know. Am I fired?
No, not at all.
And I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
So I'm getting ready to, um, I'm writing an offer for my buyer, and the asking price is 225, and we're going to offer like 210 or 215 because it needs a lot of work. Um, how do I write an appraisal contingency? So to say if it comes in, I don't know, lower, does the buyer pay the difference? Or I don't know how to word it.
So your buyer's putting an offer in lower than list price,
Right.
and you want an appraisal contingency if it comes in even lower than that?
Yeah. Can we do that?
I mean, your contract already has an appraisal contingency. If it comes in lower than the offer price, then the buyer has some options. They can cancel, they can renegotiate, or they can come in cash for the difference.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you just trying to like pre-negotiate that?
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm thinking that they should offer 215, but then with the work that needs to get done, maybe it should be 210. So I'm at that $5,000 difference. I don't know which direction to go.
So, so they, I'm confused why we need the appraisal contingency because you want it to be lower. You're the buyer side.
Right. Right. Okay. Never mind. The
Okay,
light turned on.
that's why we talk about these things because I want to get our brains lubricated a little bit. So
You're right. Okay. Thank you. Yes, I get it now.
there we go. All right. Well, continue on. What's your wins, your celebrations? Something you're just dang proud of. Nothing. Nice.
Oh, I
I
was
had
muted.
to. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
I said I was muted. Sorry. I said I got a new buyer client from church.
Heck yeah, you do.
I went out to Tucson yesterday, and while I was out there, I stopped by three houses that were just on my drive to my showing, and I got a quick video walkthrough, so I have future content to be able to post.
Love that. It's almost like we talked about doing that.
I was being intentional.
There we go. I like it.
For the first time in my life, I did a $50,000 price increase.
Tell us more.
So we were listed pretty competitively. To begin with, went through the first week, and seller's net is slightly above what actual appraised market value would be based on the comps. The comps have it around 735 or so. And so we listed 675, and we got a ton of interest. But we got multiple offers. We counted all of them at the 725 mark that the client wanted. Had to have a heartfelt conversation about buyer compensation and all that. That they're like, well, why should I have to pay the buyer's compensation? I said, you don't. It's easy. Just say no. I said, however, it is probably 99.9% chance that all these comps that I've shared with you paid some type of buyer compensation. May not have, but more likely that they did. So if this is what market value is, knock 2.5% off of all of these comps. Well, he goes, well, I'd do that. Well, I said, what's the difference? I said, I'm not concerned about what the compensation is. I'm concerned about what you net. That's my number one goal. And I said, would you agree that if you paid a compensation but sold it for more and netted the same, it'd be worth it to you? Well, yeah. Okay, great. Let's put it. I do think the market will support it. I just think it'll take a little bit longer, and they're okay with that. And I told them, I showed them the bullseye, of course, my own version. I said, if we're on the market for a week and we have 0 showings, the market's telling us we're overpriced.
There we go. Interesting to go up.
It is.
But it makes sense. Totally makes sense. And I like what Anthony's put in the chat also there for you, Mr. Ian, if you didn't see it. Anthony said if you put more verbiage in the contract, you'll scare the seller before it's even accepted. 100% agree. Sometimes you put additional terms in the contract that actually benefits the seller and their agent is confused and kinks the deal. Some of you remember a conversation I had about an escalation clause I put in on the house a couple years ago, and the buyer or the seller's agent didn't understand it because she was property management, never dealt with escalation clauses before. And it would have netted the seller $75,000 more had they gone with my offer. But they didn't understand it. And when I called and told the agent that, I'm like, hey, I saw that your house closed. You guys could have made $75,000 more by accepting my offer? That's very strange you didn't. And of course, her ego got in the way. But all right. I am thinking about putting a WhatsApp chat together for the morning call and coaching together so I can put out challenges to all of you guys at the same time. I know that there's a ton of messenger groups and chat text groups and stuff like that. We moved to WhatsApp because of the office leadership team, and it's nice to have a separate place for conversations that are around a certain purpose and not just flooding your normal communication spheres. If you want to be a part of it, I'm going to get a link to it once I figure out how to make it. I've done Slack before. I haven't done WhatsApp, so I'm figuring it out.
That's exactly what my scam texted me to download WhatsApp.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like a scammer. Like the office made us move to it last week, and my very first text is I feel like a scammer using WhatsApp. But I like it because it's two things. It's a desktop applet and your cell phone. So you can have communication. If you're working, you're sitting on something, you have a question, you can pop it in there. It gets support and resources. And it's not just hey, let's go to Facebook and post something on there. And so
make sure you put all your settings to private, by the way.
Yeah. So like I said, I got to research what to do to create it and get all that stuff done. And then I will get it shared out there. But like yesterday, I put a challenge out to a few of you for a CMA. Haven't gotten them all yet. And the 4 people I sent them to on the team aren't even here. They must be off. So we'll talk more about that. What conversations, topics, or objections do you want to work on today?
I sent you one.
I know you did.
Oh.
I know you did. You sent me one. Charles didn't. So.
Thanks.
Yet.
Thank you.
So he will. And we're going to see how it all worked out. We'll shake it out next week and we're going to talk about it.
Charles was too busy tripping up old people in the Highlands with his signs halfway in the road.
There you go. Hey, I got a new listing going live today just past the Highlands in Delaware. If you guys want to do an open house out there, Charles.
I'll take it.
So
And I got 2 nice A-frame steel open house signs stolen last weekend. I was ticked.
All right. We'll talk after this call, Charles. We'll set up a time.
Be that.
Very cool.
What do you do to prevent your open house signs from getting jacked?
I don't.
Do open houses in Dove Mountain.
I've had too many stolen. Mostly by agents.
I was gonna say it was just disgruntled agents or punk kids.
It's agents that use them and then never bring them back.
Oh, I thought you meant like agents doing open houses in the area. Like, oh, that's a nice frame.
No, Dan's got like a whole batch of generic ones that are neon colored.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, these are nice custom A-frame steel ones.
Yeah, we did the A-frames on my last team and never got stolen. They got ran over. We had a couple of them hit. Like the people went out of their way to hit them. So I don't know who made someone that mad, but they went out of their way to go off the road to hit this heavy metal sign just to mess up their car. And then I took the sign back to my garage and beat on a copper bag a little bit, and no issues, no fouls. So, but anyways, back to the CMA thing. I did as a challenge to prime your brains for the conversation. You want a little insight? You guys want some tricks before I judge next week? Remember when
Yes.
I told you to send me the offer? What was something no one did?
Reach out
Ask
to
you what
you.
was important.
No one reached out to me. My house, I used my home, right? One of my listing and one of my rentals, I used it as the address, run me a CMA on it. Jessica, did you check out that house on the MLS before you did your CMA?
I did.
Okay. And describe the inside of it in just a few words.
I don't really remember.
Okay.
I did look at it. I was a little flustered yesterday because I was going to send you an offer and then I reread the text and I was like, wait, the CMA.
Wait a second. This isn't what he asked for. Now, not everyone can do this challenge because, well, some of you don't live in Arizona and don't have access to said information. But, comma, if you're doing a market analysis for somebody that you've not really talked to, and they're just like, maybe they clicked on a link on your website or they got you through Zillow or some advertising you did that says get your home's valuation, right? Starts the conversation. When you get a lead like that, someone's wanting to know what their house is worth. And if we just arbitrarily send them a comparable analysis based on the past information of the house, how accurate is that?
About as good as Zillow's.
Yeah. What is one way you can change the accuracy of a CMA?
Check to see if they've made any type of upgrades.
It's that simple, right? It is literally that simple. It could be the email, it could be a text, it could be a phone call. Most people that submit something to you online want a text because they don't want to talk or they don't have time to talk. Otherwise, they'd pick up the phone and called you. So respond in kind. Text them first. Hey, got your request for evaluation on your home. Is texting easier or do you want a phone call? And then if they respond or not in the next 10 seconds, send them, what updates have you made on the house since you purchased it? Well, if it's online and you can see the past information, fantastic. If not, and it's never been listed or it's never been sold, and you don't have any understanding of it online, you might want to ask some more questions. I did this house specifically because inside is ugly as I'm not gonna say the word. It is not pretty, right? This is the kitchen. This is the kitchen. This is the backyard. It's all dark and gloomy. Ugly sheds. This is the inside. Yes, that is an elk pelt. And this is a room full of dead animals. This is the backyard. Does it look like that now?
No.
How do you know?
Because I've been on your calls for a while, and I know that you tore all that down and made it amazing.
Okay, well, you have some insight there. But if you don't know and you've never been there, what do you do?
Text you or call
Yeah.
you.
What do you think, Caitlin?
I was just going to say ask.
Yeah, ask. Hey, so I can get the most realistic value for you. What updates have you done on the home since you purchased it? It is very important when you're doing a market analysis that you get some key info. Otherwise, you're just as accurate as Zillow based on the aerial square footage. What I mean by aerial square footage is they use Google Earth, they look at the top of the house and they guesstimate how big the house is. Based on the size of the house and the other houses in that area that have sold, that's what they're basing the value on. You've got a seller that's done a ton of updates to the house. They're probably going to be a little proud of it. They're going to want to get top value. They're going to have all of the, you know, questions of why is my house cheaper than this? Why is it that? Why is that? Versus somebody who hasn't done anything with their house. And they're like, oh, cool. My house is worth that much. Hell yeah, let's get it sold. And then you're like, wait a second. When I get there, it's gooby. Next part of that is provide a range. Don't give them a dead set answer. How dangerous is it, Jim, to say this is what your home is worth? Versus your home, realistically in this market, is worth between. Factoring X, Y, and Z.
So, what would you suggest for like somebody like Jessica who's got a client that is super proud of the work that they've done, but it's not a very good job, but they're very emotionally attached and proud of what they've done. Like it doesn't line up and flooring just doesn't match.
Hey, I see that you guys did a bunch of work on the house. Do you see any concerns?
No, I'm super proud of it. And look at all this work that we've done. We put in this flooring and put this tile in. It's, I think we need more because of what we've done to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, you would want more. Now it's based on what the market's going to do. And this is the worst part of my job, Jason, is I got to come in and I have to be super critical about a seller's house because I want you to be, happy when we sell the house, not surprised. Do you mind if I'm brutally honest with some things that I see from a buyer's perspective?
Yeah, go ahead.
And then we go into, well, if you look at this, these are all cattywampus and uneven, and the colors might scare off some people. Ultimately, it's your home, and I want you to be happy. I'm just going to show you what a buyer is going to see so that you have the best chance of captivating the market and encouraging a top dollar value.
Okay.
Another good approach that I've had with this kind of seller is take them to a home that has just gone under contract that is at their price point.
Yep.
And let them compare themselves.
Or show them on pictures.
You could go into a home that's under contract.
Yeah, you got to get permission from the listing agent, but just let her know that you're showing it for a comp. And as long as it's vacant, they shouldn't have a problem with it.
Well, technically, if it's active contingent here, then it's open to accepting backup offers. Technically, doesn't mean they are, but that's what the categorization is supposed to mean.
Do you have a certain amount of listings that you like to have in the CMA whenever you're running it?
Minimum of 3.
Okay.
Now, another thing to think about in CMAs is how can we associate a home as comparable to another home? Break it down into very basic terms.
Location.
Okay. In the same location, geographically. Also, neighborhoodically. Because if it's in the same side of town, but it's 2 different neighborhoods, one's gated, one's not, which one's going to have a higher value?
The gated one.
So go neighborhood by neighborhood, right? amenity to amenity. So geographically, locationally, right, and neighborhoodically.
I also remember whenever we had the appraiser come in, we had asked for a house that's in a neighborhood, say it's a little bit different. He said that they would prefer to, not prefer, but if they could stay in the neighborhood, that's what they try and do because it's most like the other houses. It has the same builders and whatnot. Is that right?
And sometimes it's super easy because you have what we call a super community or a master plan community where you've got
Mhm.
5 or 6 builders building in the same area, but they're building 7 different floor plans. And so 15,000 homes, there's only 7 variations. So you just find one in the same neighborhood that's the same square footage, it's probably the same floor plan. If you don't have that, like some of us are in semi-custom areas where houses are built or changed or they're not HOAs and it's wildcatting and there's, fully custom homes involved, you're going to have to find why they're similar. So we've got location, we've got neighborhood, we've got amenity, we've got size. I kind of gave that away.
And level, if it's a single story or 2-story.
Yeah, single story versus 2-story. Do we know which one sells more per square foot, single story or 2-story?
Single story.
Why do you think that is?
Because not as many people want stairs, especially in Tucson for our area. The demographic, a lot of older people don't want stairs, and because of how hot it is, heat rises, so it's higher electricity bills, things like that.
I
You
love that
also
you've gone to a scientific element on both those, but you're wrong.
Okay.
It's just because there's way more square foot on a
yes,
Build
2-story.
you lose 150 square foot in stairs.
Yeah, not even that, like
That's
just
true.
2-story to 1-story. It's you can build more. It's just you have another layer. It's more
Hang
square.
on, I actually didn't know that's the stairs is considered the square footage as well.
It's inside your heated and cooled space.
Oh my God. Okay.
But yeah, you can justify why 2 stories are. Older people don't want 2-story. That's heat rises. It's more energy. Blah blah blah. All those things. But the reason for why price per square foot on a 2-story is less than price per square foot on 1-story is because you have more footage in the overall same footprint. However, now we go into desire or not, because a bigger footprint means X, Y, and Z to the buyer or seller. I actually have someone who wants a 2-story because she wants to be able to separate her and her kids. You guys go upstairs. I'm gonna hang downstairs.
I got a question on your, like you mentioned, the master plan communities. If you're doing comps or coming up with a price, say you have somebody that is not throwing any shade at them, but like a KB in the same community as like a Meritage, that Meritage is kind of known for more of a higher quality, and KB is in that same community. How would you comp that if you happen to have?
I'm gonna try to get Meritage to Meritage and KB to KB. I'm trying to find, if I'm master plan, I bet I can find floor plan to floor plan.
Okay.
Should not have to go very, very much in difference. You should not have to pick things that are very much different when you have that many solutions.
Gotcha.
So another thing is if we don't have a neighborhood specifically, a subdivision specifically, or a street specifically to go to, we keep our geographic search small. 200 yards, 1,500 yards, half a mile. That's it. How far out can you go to find a comparable property?
If it's a custom type stuff, up to 5 miles, I've heard.
I think it just depends on the house.
Yeah, what if it's like a super unique house like that First Ave one that I was comping? I don't know.
If you got something you can't directly comp to something in the neighborhood, you can stretch. You can go out 8, 9, 10 miles. Hell, it might even be across town if you can justify why it was a comparable.
Is it better to go further out or further back in time?
That depends on the market. Now, let's say right now, 6 months ago, how was the market compared to today?
6 months ago? Hotter? Well, no, wait, hang on. What month is it?
Values higher or lower than they are right now? 6 months ago.
Sales were higher.
Values were higher. So, okay. A year ago, were values higher or lower than they are right now?
Higher.
Okay. 2 years ago, were values higher or lower than they are right now?
Mm,
Look at the screen.
higher.
So is going back in time a benefit?
Not in this situation.
Not usually,
Okay.
because the market of the
Could
moment,
you
they're getting the valuation done. Market of the
could
moment.
you potentially pull up Greenlight and show the difference between the market right now and the market
Yeah,
at the time of the
Oh,
comparable?
that's smart.
you could absolutely do that and showcase, why you did an adjustment to value. Hey, the market's gone down 10% since then, so I adjusted the value on the comp that I pulled from 2 years ago 10% down, and this is the valuation to it. But I don't want to get into the weeds on the adjustments yet. I want to find similar properties that we can find now. So what else makes a property similar? So far, we've gone location, neighborhood, floor plan, footprint, size.
Number of bedrooms.
Yeah, bedrooms is a good one, right? How many? A 3 bedroom, a 3 bedroom, or a 4 bedroom to four
Pool.
bedrooms.
Pool.
Should be a pool or not, right? Conventional pool or not. That's a
Garage.
tricky one because sometimes pools don't add value. Sometimes they subtract from value. Anthony, how many times you had a buyer say, "I don't want a pool"? Right? There are people out there like, I do not. I've had a pool before. They're a headache. I don't want any more. No, I'm done. Even though it's 150 degrees outside, they don't want a pool. I don't want to deal with it. If I want to cool off, I'll go take a cold shower. But another thing to look at is its age. That's what most people that send me a CMA challenge miss is its age. Why is that important?
Because
Because things were built
2022
differently.
house. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jim.
And good.
I was gonna say a 2022 house is gonna be significantly different than a 1992 house.
Absolutely.
Dan, I do lot size a lot of times also.
Me too.
Yeah. Lot size will work out if that's something you can filter.
Yeah, not like on the master planned ones, but like
Yeah, if
on
it's a
other.
cookie cutter 8,000 square. Yeah.
Yeah, like especially not like non HOA properties, things like
Yeah,
that.
your semi-custom, your custom homes, unique property is going to be acreage. You want to find, this one's got 20 acres. You want to match it to something that's got big acreage. Now, those are some bucketing that's different. So if I'm going to put acreage together, I'm going to go half or up to half acre to 1 acre to 3 acres, 3 acres to 5 acres, 5 acres to 20 acres. Because once you get to 5 acres, you've got some big land. 20 acres or more, you're in ranches.
And a lot of times people put a lot of emphasis on the actives. I put way more emphasis on the pending and closed.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a second, Jim.
Oh, sorry.
We're going to run a little long. So once we've pinned down something that is in the same area, roughly the same size, roughly the same built, roughly the same age, within 10 years, you want to keep it within a decade, within 10 years, and has been sold in this market, you've got a good idea of what happened. Now we do the same thing, like Jim was saying, on the actives, the pendings. Now we see what is happening. So let's say I've got 3 houses that we've looked at that are similar on the market that have sold in the last 90 days, and they've sold at 350, 360, 375, and they're all about the same finish inside, same accoutrement. And then I look at there's 3 more on the market that are currently active, all listed at 350, 360, and 370, and they've been on the market for 3 months. What can we deduce about the market? Per our comps, we should be selling it for 360, right? Which is the split between 350, 370, 360. Per the comps, that's what it should sell for. However, the current market is showing us that we have 3 houses listed that are similar that haven't sold, and they're priced where the comps were. Which way is the market trending?
Downward.
So if it's trending downward, what do we do with the price point?
Bring it down.
That's a conversation we need to have. Well, my neighbor's house sold for 400,000. Yeah, Jimmy, it sold last year for 400,000. Did you guys know the house behind them is on the market right now for 370 and it hasn't sold yet? It's been on the market for 98 days. And they have a pool. You don't. When we're doing comparables, guys, don't just get swan struck into the MLS by, oh, this is what sold, that's what the value is. Then take that information and go look at what the competition is. If your house is nicer than the one that's listed, bang out. Price it a little bit above it. If your house is not nicer than the one that's listed, let's reduce our offering. Am I making some sense today?
Yeah.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of my tribe and being a part of the morning. I hope you learned something of value to get your brains moving today. Tomorrow, bring the questions about finance, bring us a weird situation or a deal. But otherwise, just bring your ass and let's get to work. Thank you, Anthony, for your beautiful hand motions today.